Yo people, welcome back to another review. This time it's WWE's Saturday night main event, and as you can hear, I'm a bit ill, so last few days, apologies for the lack of content. Saturday night main event, this was an event that is usually a glorified house show. However, this time it had a little bit more entertainment, I guess, but everything happened as predicted. However, we did get two interesting moments, and one of them came in the first match, which was Sami Zayn and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker. Now, the match outcome happened exactly as predicted. However, we finally got to see who the third member of this Seth Rollins faction is, and it was Bronson Reed. Now, I personally wasn't too hyped about Bronson Reed in general. Even before the injury, I never really was a fan of his. I wasn't sold on him, but I'll give him a chance to prove himself in this new dynamic. I think it was kind of a lackluster reveal, and I've said on this channel already that the person that joins the group should ideally be a younger talent, since most of the main eventers and the most relevant people in this company are around 38 years old or older. So ideally, you'd be looking for someone young to start pushing, someone that is in and around Bron Breakker's age. Bronson Reed, he is about 36 years old, so it's not the worst person to choose, but I think a younger talent could benefit a lot more from this push. One thing I will say is that a lot of people are hating on this because Seth and Bronson were obviously feuding before this happened. So how could this have happened all of a sudden that now they're on the same team? What would the explanation actually be? Now, that is a fair point. However, we literally have Seth Rollins, who at one point he joined Triple H, he turned on the Shield after feuding with Evolution. So let's just wait and see what happens. It's not completely strange that people can go from feuding to joining each other. I will have a video talking about how all of this will still lead to a bigger picture, which is why at the moment it seems kind of random, but I think they can explain their way out of this. I can also see a world where we get one more member, so let's wait and see. Anyways, moving on, and we had that Zelina Vega US title match against Chelsea Green. That was added very last minute, and I like Zelina, but after that botch that she did of the 619 and then making Chelsea Green bleed because she kicked her in the face for real to make up for her 619 botch was just stupid and worthy of dropping the title. Overall, nothing to bother about. Zelina retained, we move on. Next up was John Cena versus R-Truth, and as I said in my prediction, this match was won by John Cena. It would always be John Cena, but the main takeaway would be that John Cena will get to a point where he'll use the belt, he'll hesitate, and we'll see if that happens. And it did end up happening where he hesitated to hit R-Truth over the head with the belt, even though he did it to Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. So this is obviously planting the seeds for a face turn, and that was the main takeaway from this match. As for R-Truth, credit to him that he still did this. He's still entertaining, he's still funny. The entrance, the Ron Cena gimmick, it was pretty funny, and you just can't hate on that guy. The next match was Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Now, I've seen a lot of people upset with this match because they're saying that Drew is buried, what was the point, it's all a waste of time, etc. But I said in my prediction, this will happen. Damian is gonna win this in order to set up a trilogy, and that's exactly what happened. Also, apparently Drew McIntyre has been injured for a while and he's going to be taking some time off TV, so just expect his return to be him costing Damian Priest a match that sets up this trilogy, probably happening at SummerSlam. Now, I understand that people are triggered and just blame Triple H. Like, no one really blames him now because of these last few main events and pay-per-views that have been garbage. People are starting to realize what's happening. Me, myself, I'm not the biggest Drew McIntyre fan, but I even know that he should be doing a lot more than fighting Damian Priest for about half of this year. He deserves a lot more, especially after the great year he had last year. Last but not least was Jey Uso versus Logan Paul, and the outcome was obvious, but the important part here is, if you can even call it that, was the return of Cody Rhodes. Now, that's not the issue. The issue is that he came out, he helps Jey Uso, and then he challenges Logan Paul and John Cena to a tag team match at Money in the Bank. Why do we need to see this? Who asked for this? And what is Logan Paul doing anywhere near this main event scene? You could be pushing other talent and other people that deserve to be in that spot, but instead we're seeing Logan Paul. At this point, Triple H has a serious talent issue and we need to start addressing this stuff. He glazes people like Damian Priest, Lyra Valkyria, Logan Paul, while people like Carmelo Hayes struggle to get 2 wins in a row on SmackDown. Anyways, overall, for me, this was an average pay-per-view. The fighting was still good, it is what it is, you're still entertained, but the only relevant thing and the only kind of storyline thing that really mattered was who was that third member for Seth Rollins' faction. And now that we're going to be seeing that tag match at Money in the Bank, we know that the World Heavyweight title and the WWE Championship will not be defended at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, so that pay-per-view becomes less relevant, less interesting. I do expect Roman Reigns to appear at Money in the Bank, but I'll explain more in that bigger picture video that I'll have coming soon. But yeah, I will have more content coming soon. I will be out of this cold pretty soon, so yeah. As always, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What did you like? What did you not like about this Saturday night main event? I'd appreciate if you could leave a like on the video, sub to the channel, and thank you for your time.